Today, we'll walk you through how to install a Thermo Scientific imPULSE 5,000-liter single-use mixer BioProcess container. The imPULSE single-use mixer BioProcess container, or BPC, is designed to be used with a Thermo Scientific imPULSE single-use mixer, or SUM. Continue watching for step-by-step instructions on how to install the BPC on the SUM. The first step is to unpack and inspect the BPC. Please note that all procedure steps must be performed by 2 or more people and avoid excessive manipulation of the BPC throughout installation. To remove the BPC from the box, start by removing the wheel locks on the cart to prevent it from moving. Then, remove the packing tape with a safety cutter. Open the box and remove the 2 protective cardboard sheets and 2 foam inserts. Grab the handles of the cardboard insert and lift the BPC out of the box. Then, place it on a wheeled cart. Align the long end of the BPC with the long end of the cart. Do not flip it or place it on its side. Finally, slide the bottom insert out from underneath and set aside. The next step is to prepare for installation. Start by opening the SUM vessel door by removing the door latch pin, pressing the release button, and pulling up. Then, check that the motor drive is in the downward position. Remove the mixer drive safety guard below the SUM and open the bell housing. Take the tubing support plate out from the bottom of the vessel. Then, remove the protective covering from the BPC. Do not discard the tubing support plate. Cut the zip tie on the thin plastic encasing packaging bag with zip tie. Then remove the packaging bag. Pull one end of the outer poly bag away from the BPC. Then, using a safety cutter, cut one end of the poly bag. Leave a sufficient gap between the BPC and the outer poly bag and avoid contact between the BPC and safety cutter. While holding the BPC, pull the outer poly bag away from it. Grip and hold the BPC and foam block to slide off the poly bag. Using a safety cutter, cut one end of the inner poly bag, then remove it from the inner poly bag. If wrapped, remove the bubble wrap from the inlet and outlet lines. Do not remove the plastic covering from the ends of the tubing, the ties or bands holding the tubing coils, or the filter bubble wrap if applicable. Remove the small center foam block from the agitator shaft and retain the foam blocks for reinstallation. Take the larger outer foam block and bubble wrap off the rolling diaphragm. Inspect the rolling diaphragm, inlet tubing, and outlet tubing connectors, checking that the connections are intact. Then, inspect the C-clips. If the C-clips have fallen off, readjust and reposition them over the mixing disc. Do not remove the protective C-clips around the mixing disc. They offer protection during loading to help prevent damage. Reinstall the small foam block. Then, rewind the tubing around the center foam block. Lift and flip the BPC on the inspection cart along the drainage line edge. Remove the bubble wrap from the sight port and other connection lines. Then, remove the foam tubes from the fold creases. Do not remove the plastic coverings at the ends of the tubing, the zip ties holding the tubing coils, or the filter bubble wrap. Try to minimize manipulation of folds during foam tube removal. Also note that the number of foam tubes varies depending on the BPC's size and design. Step 3 is to install the BPC. Begin by lowering the hoist line and attaching the crossbar cradle to the hoist line. Raise the hoist halfway up the vessel to create space for BPC installation. Disengage the cart's wheel locks. Then move the BPC next to the SUM vessel, with the long end of the cart facing the vessel. Then, unfold the film cradle flaps on the sides so that the hoist connection points are visible. Lower the hoist line to attach the crossbar clips to the BPC film cradle. Then, coil the tubing and filter in the cradle. Raise the hoist until the foam blocks under the agitator are accessible. Then, remove the foam block. Raise the BPC until it is over the top of the SUM vessel. Then, position it over the center cutout of the vessel. Do not raise the hoist chain closer than 4 inches from the motor. Lower the BPC into the vessel, stopping the hoist 3 feet above the bottom. Then, gently rotate the hanging BPC to the correct orientation. The BPC must have the sight glass port and vent filter line facing the back half of the vessel and the drain lines facing towards the front. Loosen the tubing and feed the inlet and outlet tubing from the cradle. Then, feed through the arc-shaped cutout on the bottom and replace the support plate. Slowly lower the hoist line to feed the rolling diaphragm through the circular cutout in the bottom of the vessel. When moving the BPC, avoid the agitator shaft contacting the sides and bottom of the sum. Do not allow the agitator shaft to contact the vessel bottom or the agitator plate to drag across the vessel bottom. Do not allow the BPC to rest at an angle or drag across the bottom of the sum. Proceed by uncoiling and feeding the drain lines through the arc-shaped cutout at the vessel bottom. Then, uncoil the feed inlet and outlet tubing from the bottom of the foam block. Replace the sum tubing support plate. Check that the tubing between the plate and BPC is not pinched or kinked. Adjust the drive shaft to seat in the bell housing cutout. Unclip the hoist from the cradle. Then, unhook the 2 cradle clips closest to the sum door. Gently pull forward on the hoist line to unhook the back 2 cradle clips. Lay the cradle folds flat on the vessel bottom. Lift the crossbar out of the vessel. The next step is to remove the remaining packaging and install the inflate lines. Remove the 2 C-clips from the front and back edges of the mixing disc. Use the raised platforms or arm extension device on larger systems to lift the filter and top tubing lines to the vessel top. Remove the filter packaging and attach the inflate line to the inflate system. Coil and support the vent tubing so it does not kink. If applicable, install the pressure sensor assembly and cable. Check that the clamp on the pressure sensor line is open and connect the pressure sensor. Then, tear the pressure transmitter. After it has been teared, close the vessel door. Do not disconnect the pressure sensor cable. Now we'll show you how to bulk inflate the BPC. Install clamps on the inlet and outlet tubing as close to the BPC as possible. Start the inflate system at 30 psi. Inflate the BPC until it has expanded in the sum vessel and the BPC corners are even with the top of the vessel. Do not pressurize it yet. Slowly bring up the inflation line and check that it is not trapped between the vessel wall and the film. Place the powder port into the powder port holder. Stop bulk inflation when the BPC has loosely expanded in the sum vessel and the corners have reached the vessel top. Pause inflation and open the door to access the probe and sample ports. Then, remove the bubble wrap from the probe ports. Do not remove the plastic coverings. Install through the door cutouts. Install the twist clamps on the probe ports and close the pre-installed clamps. Put the port belt tubing in the portholes on the front door of the sum vessel. Check that the BPC film is not caught in the door. Then, close the door. Next, we'll demo how to install the agitator diaphragm. Begin by manually adjusting the lip of the rolling diaphragm to the seat lip. Then, place the back of the lip in the circular cutout. Pull the diaphragm on both sides, from back to front, until the lip is through the cutout and set in place. Check that the rolling diaphragm is free of creases, twists, and folds. Then, replace the mixer drive safety guard so the inlet and outlet tubing remain outside of the mixing unit. Once the guard is in place, check that the side lights on both proximity sensors turn green, either blinking or solid. Finish by resetting the agitator fault, which is triggered by removing the mixer drive safety guard, and clear any alarms. The last step is to perform a final BPC inflation. Inflate the BPC with an inlet pressure of 5 psi until it fully unfolds and fills all corners of the sum vessel. Then, adjust the probe belt in the probe holder. Inflation will cease when the automatic pressure cutoff has been reached. Check that the top 4 corners are above the top of the sum vessel. Then, confirm that the bottom corners are pressed into the vessel bottom. Look through the sight port into the inflated BPC to check that there are no folds or creases around the mixer plate. Use the positioning pin to adjust the sight port holder orientation if needed. If significant wrinkles are present over or under the mixing head, depressurize the BPC and gently lift the corners. Then re-inflate it. Do not initiate the mixing prior to filling the vessel with a minimum 10% of its total working volume. After all these steps are complete, the vessel is now ready to be filled with liquid. Thank you for watching. To learn more, visit thermofisher.com/impulse.